Hey, what's up, man? With another Fair Shake review. This time, we're going to be talking about Justin Bieber with Changes. And, um, Justin, I never actually listened to a full Justin Bieber project until now. I would just hear a few songs here and there and a couple album cuts here and there because people would try and show it to me. And so going into this, and like hearing little bits and pieces of like the album before I listened to it straight through, I was a little worried because a lot of the stuff that I was like the little bits and pieces that I was hearing, I was like, yo, everything is sounding kind of similar that I'm hearing, because even with the singles, with Yummy coming out, and then listening to Get Me, and then Intentions, I was like, and then what was the other one? I feel there was one more that I heard before I listened to the whole album, but maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. But anyway, I was like, yo, some of this stuff is sounding just a little too similar, so I hope it's not like that. Everything kind of seemed like it was going down a kind of like almost like a Post Malone love song with the hip hop, trap kind of vibe, that you end up getting from like Yummy, where it's just like, yo, like you can tell this is a pop song, but made with the trap hip hop, trend being what it is these days, and just kind of somewhat vague lyrics, real repetitive. The main like soundscape of the beats outside of the bass is just kind of like repeated synth lines that are really subdued and just kind of like try to be moody. I feel like I got that through a lot of these songs, because I got to all around, like just to start off, I was like all around me, I was like, okay, so kind of trappy, cloud rap kind of sounding pop song, okay, habitual, yeah, still the same kind of sound. The love lyrics are just, your typical, not extremely personal, very written to be very kind of relatable, it seems like, even though you're making direct shout outs to your wife, a lot of it, the way you're expressing it seems like it can apply to anyone, so anyone can sing along and direct it to other people, which is great. That's great that you're doing pop writing like that, but it's hard to make a connection, especially when you get to Come Around Me and it also sounds that way. Intentions comes on and it sounds that way. Yummy comes on and it sounds that way. Available comes on and it sounds that way. Forever comes on and it sounds just slightly different, but still kind of in that lane, and you're like, oh. Running Over with Lil Dicky comes on and you're like, oh, we're kind of back to straight up like that same sound, and then Lil Dicky comes on and you're just like, oh, that verse actually wasn't that dope. Would have been really interesting to hear what Ski Mask the Slump God would have done, instead of Lil Dicky on there, because I feel like it probably would have been at least something interesting on there, because he has a very interesting style. But anyway, that ended up sounding the same. Take It Down on Me. I feel like that one was another one that sounded just slightly different, but still almost in that same lane. And Nigga's Second Emotion and Travis Scott still doesn't do anything for me, and it just sounds like another. It sounds like him getting on a pop song, so he can't do anything super interesting. Then Get Me comes on, and it's like, yep, still kind of around that same lane, but you know, you get a bit of different. Then you get to each, and then you finally get to some of the more changes, like ETA, and changes, confirmation. That's what love is, at least for now. Those last kind of 5 songs, because I'm not counting the Yummy remix. That's where I feel like, oh, now we're finally getting a break from this just vibe music, where you can actually maybe get some feeling to it, because with vibe music you still have to have captivating lyrics. I feel like he just could not grab me with his lyrics, or even a lot of the melodic lines he was doing. Like when, I'm trying to remember which one it was. I feel like it was either, I think it was either ETA or Confirmation, where there was like an actual, like, a sample in the beat, and I was like, oh, this is different and it sounds good. I like this. But yeah, so I didn't really start enjoying much of it until the last, like, third of the album. So yeah, and a lot of just to me, a lot of the beats just ended up too much the same. It was too much of the same. And since everything is super love centric and really had to do a lot with his budding and now solidified relationship with his wife, and he didn't find enough angles to talk about it to make it interesting and warrant so many songs about the same thing. And I feel like when he was able to try and sing about it over different production, it ended up being conveyed a lot better. So, like on That's What Love Is, and at least for now, and in Confirmation, it was nice. And then Changes seemed to actually not have to deal as much with the love aspect, but more so, dealing with the changes in life and having to change for the better for your life and for the relationships that you have. So yeah. But yeah, I didn't enjoy this project as much. It was kind of like along the same lines as another project I reviewed earlier with Lil Wayne. It just was a lot too much of the same, and not enough about it to be, not enough interesting in it for me to return to. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on Changes. It needed more changes throughout, and maybe it could have kept my interest more, though I still don't think with just maybe even changing the sequencing in here would have helped. I still feel like I would have come up underwhelmed with a lot of the songs that just ended up sounding very too similar. But that's just my thoughts. I could be wrong. You can hate me all you want. You can disagree and tell me your thoughts down below. Or you can agree and let me know down below as well. Let me know something else maybe I should listen to, and I'll share my thoughts on it as well. But yeah, that's all. When it comes to this though, that's all I got. So much love, peace. Peace.